The whistling outside my tent. I've camped alone most of my adult life, not because I'm some sort of expert or one of those guys who posts wilderness videos online, pretending every weekend in the woods is a spiritual awakening. I just like being alone. No noise, no traffic, no people. Just trees, mountain air, and that kind of silence you can't find anywhere else. That's why I chose the trail near the mountains outside Glendale, a few hours from the deep city, into the back country of Colorado. That once the sun went down, you were truly on your own. I'd done that trail twice before, nothing strange, nothing dangerous. At least, nothing I knew about. That changed last October, and I haven't spent the night outdoors since. The weather was perfect that afternoon. It was cold but clear, kind of crisp mountain air that makes every breath feel sharper. I parked near the empty trailhead around 3:30 p.m. There was one other vehicle there, an old faded pickup with a Wyoming plates. I remember noticing how dusty it was, like it had been sitting there a long time. Still, I didn't think much of it. People leave cars overnight all the time. I packed up and started hiking. The trail climbed steadily through thick pine forest before opening into a wide alpine clearing about 4 miles in. That was my usual camping spot. It sat just below the tree line, surrounded by massive boulders, with a clear view of the mountain ridge. Beautiful, isolated, perfect. I got there just before sunset, set up my tent, started a small fire, cooked instant noodles. Everything felt normal, peaceful. The sky turned that Colorado purple as the last sunlight disappeared behind the peaks, and then I heard the whistle. It was faint, 3 notes, high, low, and high. Almost a nice sound to the ear. It drifted through the trees from somewhere far off. At first, I smiled. Probably another camper. People whistle all the time in the woods. Maybe someone calling it to a friend. I went back to eating. Then I heard it again. Same 3 notes. Exact same. This time it was closer. I stood up and looked towards the tree line. Nothing. Just darkness settling between the pines. The whistle came a 3rd time. Closer still. High, low, high. It stopped abruptly. Then silence. No footsteps. No branches breaking, nothing. That's what bothered me most. Sound carries differently in the mountains. If someone was moving through that much brush, I should have heard something. But there was only the whistle. And then the stillness. I called out, hello. No answer. I waited, nothing. After a minute, I convinced myself it was just wind moving through something hollow. A branch, a pipe, some weird mountain acoustics. I zipped myself into my tent around 9:30 p.m. and tried to sleep. Sometime after midnight I woke up, completely alert. That instant kind of waking where your body knows something is wrong before your brain catches up. The fire had burnt out. The tent was black inside, and outside something was walking around my campsite. Slow, deliberate. Crunch, pause, crunch, pause. Heavy enough to be human, too measured to be an animal. I froze. The footsteps circled the tent once, stopped near my head, and then the whistle, right outside the fabric. High, low, Hi. I stopped breathing. The sound was so close it vibrated through the tent wall. There was no mistaking it now. Someone was standing inches from me. I grabbed the beer spray beside my sleeping bag and held perfectly still. The footsteps resumed, slowly, circling. One full loop, then another, then silence. I waited 5 minutes. 10, nothing. Finally, I worked up the nerve to unzip the tent just enough to peek out. The campsite was empty. Moonlight lit the clearing. No movement, no person, no animal, no footprints that I could see, nothing. I almost packed up right there and then, but hiking out in those trails in total darkness was a bad idea. So I stayed, locked the tent, kept the bear spray in my hand, and eventually drifted into a shallow, nervous sleep. Then screaming woke me. It came from deeper in the forest, a man's voice, raw panic. The kind of scream people make when they know they're about to die. It lasted maybe 3 seconds, then cut off instantly, like someone had hit mute. I shot upright. My heart was hammering so hard, I thought I was going to throw up. Then came the whistling again, further away this time. High, low, high. After that, silence. At first light, I packed up everything in under 5 minutes. No breakfast, no coffee, nothing. I just wanted out. As I stuffed my sleeping bag into my pack, I noticed something tied to one of my tent stakes. A strip of orange fabric, bright and fresh, like it had been torn from a trail marker ribbon, and written on it in black marker were 3 words. You didn't look. I actually ran the first mile down the trail. I didn't stop until I reached the parking lot, and when I got there, the old Wyoming pickup was gone. In its place was a Ranger SUV, a park ranger, standing beside it talking in the radio. He looked relieved when he saw me, then his face changed. Were you up there last night? I nodded. He looked pale. Did you hear whistling? The question hit me like ice water. I asked why. He hesitated, then said they'd been searching for a missing camper, a man from Wyoming. His truck had been parked there for 4 days. Search teams had found his campsite the evening before, abandoned. Tents shredded from the inside, no sign of him. Just one thing left behind. The ranger reached into his pocket and showed me a strip of orange trail ribbon. On it, in shaky black handwriting, were the words, "It whistles before it comes." I never told him about my ribbon. I don't know why. Maybe because some part of me didn't want to say it out loud. Didn't want to make it real. A week later, I threw away all my camping gear. Thought that would help. It didn't. Because sometimes late at night, when everything is quiet, I hear it outside my apartment window. 3 soft notes. High, low, high. And each time, it sounds a little closer.